Going back in time, when I was young, I was a super young boy, and there was a day, Andy. There was a day when I was hosting an event towards the later part of the 2000s, and I look up in the sky, and there's a helicopter. This is a true story. There's a helicopter up top, and falling down are SIMs of a new mobile phone. Right?
Yeah.
There was a time when there was a Miro Mobile SIM card that you could go ahead and get. I'm sure you know Miro Mobile pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
That, when I think about it, when this morning when you were coming, and then I got up and I was just thinking about that moment, and I also thought about a moment when I wanted a phone in my life, I wanted a SIM card in my life, and it would take such a long time to get a SIM card in Kathmandu, in Nepal,
Yeah.
Long lines, long queues, X amount of money that you have to go out and deposit, so many different things that you have to do. Now, a click of a button or a small conversation, and you have a SIM card and you have a phone, and you're on your way with the world in your palms. Times have changed.
Yeah.
When you look back at the history of telecommunication in Nepal, when you go back, when you look back, when you did your study, when you were thinking that, okay, Axiata should come to Nepal. We've been to other places in Southeast Asia, we've been to so many different places now. All right, it's time to come to Nepal. Regardless of Telesonara being a part of Ncell at that moment, what was the thing that made the Axiata team feel like, okay, we should get into this market and we should be a player in this market in the country Nepal?
Yeah, so our strategy, if you look at our portfolio before we came into Nepal, is basically looking at the frontier markets in a lot of ways. We're in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Cambodia. We wanted to get into Myanmar, although we got in there in a different way. Obviously, Malaysia and Singapore at one point, and idea in India. So we were in Iran at one point, and Pakistan as well. So we were in the frontier markets, and we know, for us to get into certain markets, either the entry barrier is already way past, our willingness to invest in those countries, or it just doesn't make sense. But Nepal presented an opportunity for us because, one, at that time in 2014, when the first idea came around, when we scout around for opportunities, the whole market just looked at the potential was there for us. And truth be told, that ambition, when we look at the potential of Ncell in 2014, 2015, leading to the transaction in 2016, was actually very optimistic. And did it deliver those numbers in terms of the growth? It definitely did. Although Nepal's business has a huge dependency on international long-distance incoming calls. Yeah, and that business is a little bit out of our control because it's people using OTT calling back. Yeah, but that's okay. But the core business itself, which is what we call the core business, is growing well in Nepal, although the pandemic had taken a hit for the whole industry, perhaps also for many countries from that point of view. So that's how we thought about it. It kind of complements the portfolio that we are in. If you look at Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Nepal, it has kind of a common footprint. And that's basically how we thought about it, actually.
If you love what we are doing, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications.
Thank you very much for watching us on YouTube. Make sure that you also listen to us on Spotify. This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.